Chapter 4, Key Issue 4, Content Objective. Why do folk and pop culture face sustainability challenges? Your ICANN statements. Summarize challenges for folk and culture from diffusion of pop culture. 2. Describe the two principal ways that pop culture can adversely affect the environment. 3. Explain the major sources of waste as a result of popular culture and the extent to which each is recycled. Sustainability challenges. One is it's maintaining century-old practices are very difficult within pop culture, as we can see with some of the vernacular that's used as an example from pop culture today. B. Globalization creates a landscape, challenges to maintaining unique landscape. And again, when you have that globalization, it's going to extract many resources to create a homogeneous landscape. And as you extract those resources, it can create an overuse of resources that go beyond sustainable efforts in conservation or preservation. And 3 is the challenges that subservient women face in folk cultures. And then pollution and depletion. Depletion already mentioned with the uniform landscape, the need to extract resources. And then pollution is a derivative of that industrial manufacturing of various material goods such as clothing or commodities that you might consume, appliances, etc. All right, sustainability challenges of folk and pop culture. Consumption of animal products that are found in folk culture. When we talk about shifting culture later, but also mixed crop and livestock in agricultural farms. It can create, shifting cultivation burns, so it emits carbons into our atmosphere. Mixed crop and livestock will create a lot of eutrophication runoff of manure and soil plus methane from cows. Environmental degradation, we see pollution from possibilism, again modifying the environment to meet the material consumer wants, not needs but wants. And again, shifting cultivation degrades the environment. Shifting cultivation strips the nutrients from the soil as they strip the land, and then intensive is used to essentially strip the nutrients from the soil as well. And then the demand for raw materials is very high in mass consuming MDCs, and then consuming for raw materials in intensive agriculture would be the nutrients in the land in LDCs. And then we see the extinction of animal species, so loss of habitat, loss of biodiversity, which is common in MDCs that consume pop culture. And then animal extinction could be seen in shifting cultivation. The diffusion, the impact on the environment, it can be done in two different ways. When we look at the imaginations of the environment, we can see it through golf courses, which drastically modifies the natural state. It can divert water systems or waterways. It can use more water. However, some golf courses are changing and they're recycling water or reusing water. And that's very important as we look to a sustainable future. But we can also see pollution with motels, gas station, cars, fast food restaurants. Cars, the largest carbon emitter of any individual in their consuming habits. 2 is depletion of natural resources. Increased demand of raw materials, and there will always be an increase in demand because of the changing fads. And then think about why pop culture will have a larger impact in the global landscape than folk culture. Go back to the characteristics of pop culture. All right, here we take a look at Buddhist monks, and we see maintaining folk culture, but blending it with pop culture. Again, the ongoing individual struggle or cultural struggle, habits and cultural custom struggle, maintaining cultural uniqueness, and then also adapting to pop culture that's needed for social connections. We can see full culture with the Amish. And again, we see the Amish changing their full culture to the newer generations, adopting some of the technology that was not adopted in earlier generations. Here's an example of pop culture, and again, the enormous amounts of water seen here within the Namib Desert. We look at the distribution of courses. Most of the golf or courses are found in the harsher, colder climates, and this can be much harder on the fertility of land and also the runoff of fertilizers into the water streams. Cultural divergence, another example. We can see cultural divergence and with tweets about beer are more common in the north, while tweets about church are in the south. Cultural divergence can also be seen in how leisure choices are chosen based on genres of ages. So as I mentioned that we see platforms, social media platforms changing, and again, it doesn't show internet, but that we should see internet with the younger age groups as well. All right, so to eradicate some of these overconsumption problems and pollution problems, it's a must that recycling must be in place for a sustainable future. But ever since recycling began in the U.S., we see recycling rate go up, but we see waste go up. So really, recycling hasn't eradicated the mass consumption of pop culture. All right, we're going to skip that. All right. Again, review your notes and make sure you review all of Chapter 4.